Hello, I hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year. Unfortunately for me, on Christmas Eve I came down with what I think was the flu. So I wasn't really very good at all, and I had a lot of plans to do loads of different shoots over Christmas, but unfortunately I just didn't feel up to it, and this is probably not the best idea when you've got flu. I did have about 3 sleeping mats in there, I have to say, to try and keep warm, and I'd only stick it for about an hour, but as you can see here, we've got an apple tree in our garden. Sorry about the out of focus video. That's how poorly I was. I wasn't really up to filming, but I did the best I could. And this is what I was filming. Now, we had 3 or 4 blackbirds that were coming regularly under the tree and feeding on the apples. And as you can see, I do like these shots. This blackbird actually was about 2.5, 3 meters away from the front of the lens, really, really close in. And when you've got these frosty conditions, the contrast with the actual black of the bird is really nice. The grass is quite long, so you can shoot through that and get these lovely blurred foregrounds. But as in previous years, I knew that we potentially had some conflict going to happen, and that was because obviously at this time of year you get field fares and redwings coming over, and they're here to feed on the apples as well. And as you can see, we had a visitor into the tree, and we've had this before. What they tend to do is they try and assert the authority to sort of have the whole tree to themselves, and it's just one single field fare, and this is what they're after. They're after these apples. These are apples that I'd moved into this position with the anticipation of doing some photography at some point, and as soon as the weather gets cold, then all the birds are trying to feed on them. Anyway, he was having a whale of a time, this blackbird, until all of a sudden what I thought might happen happened, and the fieldfare decided, nope, I'm not having you under my tree, this is my tree. Now, unfortunately for me, his favourite position was in a bit of a hollow in the grass there, and it made it really difficult to get shots of him because I'm low down anyway. So yeah, it was really difficult, just getting a lot of images with his head popping up. And that was a position he liked. He also liked to torment me by going behind the actual trunk of the apple tree. And he'd stay there for 20-30 minutes and I wouldn't be able to see him at all. But this was interesting behaviour. Did you see the head come up there? Now, what I noticed was that I got an alarm call from another bird off to my left. And as you can see, he's looking up into the sky. Now, I know, obviously because I live there, that what we'd had over the last 3 or 4 days in the nice sunny weather, bright blue skies, we'd had a red kite coming over, and he liked to go and land in a tree about 300 meters away, just across the field. And he used to have a bit of a barney with a buzzard. The buzzard would always clear him off because he likes that tree as well. So the local red kite, I think, came over, and as you can see, he's really, really alert. They have to be, obviously, because, although the red kite's probably not a problem, any sparrowhawk come over, that could be the end of it. And he would come out and he would start to feed again. He came out a little bit further here, but what tended to happen as well is that this fighting with the blackbirds was a constant thing. But he tended to concede the area in front of the apple tree, which was the area closer to me, to the blackbirds. And I think that's simply because he was very, very weary of the hide, which I've not had before either. I've shot these from the garage before with no problem at all, but yeah, he was weary of the hide and basically conceded this foreground here to the blackbirds. Occasionally he would come down and assert his authority again. But we got loads and loads of images and film of the blackbirds there on the apples, just really showing that, even in a small area, you can see these wildlife dramas going on. And for me, because I was ill over Christmas, this was a real nice thing to be able to do, because it meant I could go out for as little or as long as I could stand, and I know I just got to walk back into the house when I'd finished. But I was actually getting out and doing some wildlife photography. And again, this local expert nature shooter that I talk about is all about knowing your local area. And it's only through that I, obviously knew that these things happened in my garden, and I was able to capitalise on it and get some film and images. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the images at the end of this film, and I'll see you next time for another one.